Good morning. Welcome to Uptakes. Welcome to Upstream Media PH Facebook page and YouTube channel. I hope you've had your coffee today already. We are live on the Facebook page and YouTube channel of Upstream Media PH. Please do say hi in the comments if you're around and drop some questions if you have any. Don't forget to share and probably like this post if you like it, maybe later. But definitely, please do stay around and hang around as we talk about some tech things. We were joking around producing this episode, Tech Talks, about technology and hardware that we are looking forward to bring to you. Formally, welcome to Uptakes. My name is Glenn Lopez of Upstream Media PH. I'm the technical director. This is Uptakes, episode 2 of season 1. Wow, season 1, episode 2, and it's the second week already. Uptakes is Upstream Media's very own web show where we talk about ideas, concepts, and news in and around live streaming. So for this episode, August 5, 10 a.m., middle of the week, and I hope you're having a good week so far. We are talking about 5 things later on. That I am pretty excited for. Are they game changers? Maybe not in their entirety, but it definitely will improve one's workflow depending on how it is put together. Let's see. Hi, Kat. Yes, let's read one comment. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Kat. Thank you for dropping by. I hope si Tito Kat is, si Tito, like literally the cat, is doing well. Yes, I'm looking forward to getting one of my own, but we shall see. I hope the video is clear on your end. I don't see any errors on my end so far. 4 or 5 viewers. Don't worry. I don't have to worry about anything because I'm just looking forward to talking about these things. Maybe I'll produce some videos in the near future on the individual things, but do drop any comment, any greetings that you have, but definitely this video will be up on, again, the Facebook and YouTube channel of Upstream Media PH. Alright, so for today's episode, what I'm looking forward to is actually this. Let me just switch my... Essentially, what I'll be talking about are 5 things. These 5 things that I've been greeting and wala pala akong sound. So, yes. Again, good morning. I hope... Oh, okay. Okay. I see what happened there. There you go. When I switched to that layout, nag-off yung sound ko. There you go. Thanks, Pao. Thanks, Kat, for letting me know. So, again, these are 5 things that I'm looking forward to. They are things that I'm looking forward to. There's a camera there, there's a wireless transmitter there, and a video mixer, and so on and so forth. Thank you for pointing that out. Again, it's difficult to produce your own show and also just really talk about things. No? That's why I'm more on the other side. Normally, I'm the technical director and just push the buttons and direct people. But in this case, I have to make everything efficient as much as possible. So let me start by talking about these 5 things. I'll start with number 5. It is the Rode Wireless Go, and it looks something like this. No, this Rode Wireless Go is a microphone. Actually, I have it already here. Fortunately, parang makeup tutorial lang. this microphone or this little thing right here is actually a wireless clip-on microphone. So if I'm gonna grab this one here, I can just clip it. I'm not using it right now because I'm still testing on how I will be putting it together for this workflow. But definitely, what is it for? It's a wireless clip-on microphone, and you can also attach a lavalier to it so that you can have a more directed what's this a unidirectional microphone, at least closer to the source. No, some specs: 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmission. It is riding a bit on your Wi-Fi. I mean, not riding on your Wi-Fi, but it has the same frequency. It has a range of up to 70 meters, although it's a bit low than. But then again, what would you expect with something with an object this small, diba? It has a built-in battery, and it charges over USB-C, which is very convenient because when you have when you have a USB-C port on your camera, you don't on your charger or as a cable, you don't have to bring extra cables around, or you don't have to bring other battery pieces of hardware around. But because it has a built-in battery, you cannot place it inside your carry-on luggage. You have to carry. You cannot place it in your check-in luggage, but rather you have to place it in your carry-on. And last there is you can use up to 8 of these in one location. Okay. That means you can do a multi-person interview, and if you can get 8 of these units and then hook them up to all of those people, and then just make sure that you can capture their sound, and hopefully you have an interface or recorder that can accommodate all of those wireless Go's. Now, so I'm excited to use it with the the lavalier Go, which is this thing over here. So fortunately, when I got the second hand, there was a lavalier Go in the package. The person already bought it. This thing, lapel, diba? Sabi nga nila, lapel. And it's easy. For me, it becomes easier to capture audio from a speaker, from one person, or from speakers. Like for example, I can just grab this, probably find a way to mount this on a speaker, and then point this microphone towards the speaker so that I can easily capture it, and it's wireless. It becomes very easy to bring in audio wirelessly. Okay, so that last point here, that scratch audio. I was thinking about how to explain this. Scratch audio essentially is the audio that you don't use in your final output, but mostly it becomes easier for you to synchronize your the several angles of your camera, several angles of recording that you will be doing, and even if you don't use it as the final audio, at least you have cleaner scratch audio, and it becomes easier for your software to edit it. Yeah, sabi nga, speaker or presenter. Yes, thank you, Fernando, for commenting that. Okay, so that's number 5. It's the Rode Wireless Go. As I said earlier, I'm just looking forward to this, but fortunately, I was able to get a good deal, second-hand good deal. Although there's a side story to it, and there's a sad side story to it, but it's this is in preparation for a setup that I am going to talk about later on. Okay. Next thing in this list is the CTEK ATEM156. Okay. It's the CTEK. What the hell is this CTEK ATEM156? It's a 15.6-inch quad-view 4K director monitor. It's multi-view that lets you see all 4 HDMI outputs. So essentially, what it allows you to do is to bring in all of these 4 cameras. Hopefully, that's a nice thought, having all 4 A7Rs. And those HDMI outputs you bring in to this CTEK monitor, and then I don't have the other view here, but you allow the HDMI to pass through, and then you bring it to the other side. The HDMI out of the CTEK monitor goes in the ATEM Mini, or at least whatever video mixer that you are using that doesn't have multi-view, and then the output goes to your computer or the USB-C port. But it's specifically designed for the ATEM Mini because of the HDMI pass-throughs. Now, so a couple of specs. Number one, it's full HD 1920 by 1080 resolution. It has a 15-inch screen. It's pretty portable. It's like a laptop, but with the hinges, and also that allows you to rotate it. Definitely because it's a broadcast monitor, or at least the attempt to be a broadcast monitor is there. The colors are pretty good, pretty accurate compared to other screens that have the colors a bit more colored than usual. And again, it has 4 HDMI inputs and 4 HDMI outputs. So what that allows you to do is, or what is it for, is it allows for the Blackmagic ATEM Mini. Let me just jump to this camera over here. This ATEM Mini over here it is a video switcher, but it doesn't have multi-view. So what it does is it brings in 4 of these HDMI inputs, and then it allows pass through so that you can have that multi-view thing, which is the one on the screen. Not all, well, specifically this video switcher doesn't have multi-view. It allows you to preview sources, and it's difficult to cut a show if you cannot see the sources before you go into it. And then it connects, at least for me, in my head, you can connect semi-permanently your ATEM Mini, or at least my ATEM Mini, on the HDMI inputs, and you don't have to have more wear and tear on your HDMI ports, which is something that I'm worried about at this point. So I'm excited to use it for multi-view, an extra portable monitor, a 15-inch monitor. That would allow me to do a faster setup. So looking at the shape of this thing right here, awkward pala, it's supposed to be there. Looking at the shape of this thing right here, again, it allows for quad view or a multi-view, even if it's just HDMI pass-throughs. But more importantly, it becomes a portable monitor, and you can choose all of these inputs, or you can use it as and then for me, I'm looking forward to attaching wireless transmitters to this thing, para at least it's a bit more permanent in that case. Okay, so this is the CTEK ATEM 156 quad link view monitor. Okay, next is number 3 is the camera, actually. So I'm excited about a number of things, but not necessarily excited about or at least less excited about getting the new camera, because at least in terms of workflow, we're still there. But if you are looking for a video camera that you want, or that you can use to live stream and also to do video content, the Sony ZV-1 might be for you. So it looks something like this. It looks like a point and shoot, but it actually has for me, an important thing there, if I can bring my cursor, is that you have this microphone port over here, and you have an HDMI out, one of those, and also a micro USB port. So, and again, it's one of the cameras that Sony released, or one of the first cameras that Sony released, that has a tilt and swivel screen that allows you to vlog, essentially. No, that thing, that feather thing over there, is actually the, what's this? The distraco. Hi D, good morning. That's actually the muff, the wind, dead cat. Probably not a dead cat, but a muff that blocks off wind. So this particular camera, let's go to some specs. 20 megapixel sensor, 1-inch sensor, and fortunately and unfortunately. So fortunately, because it allows you to have a smaller footprint, or at least you just need to carry a smaller camera. A 24 to 70 millimeter equivalent. So it's basically a basic range and basic zoom, 1.8 to 2.8. More importantly, it has UHD, Ultra HD, 4K 30p that allows for hybrid log gamma and S-Log3 um, color gammas. But you can just focus on the UHD, and then depends on your workflow if you're gonna use the HLG and the S-Log3 picture profiles. Now, it also has a 3-inch side flip-out touchscreen LCD. There you go. And solid autofocus performance, at least from the reviews that I've watched already. Solid autofocus performance, and because it has a microphone port on the side, I think it allows you to bring in better audio. No? So comparable models here are the RX100s. Yeah, the RX100s, and if you graduate to an A64 or an A66 or an A7 camera, then definitely these are things that are already in those bigger cameras. So what is it for? A camera for, at least what Sony announces it for, it's a camera for video content creators. Again, for both those producing videos, but also for those who are producing live streams. So you can grab the HDMI out and then bring it to a capture card. And I think they plan to produce a firmware where you can grab the video from a USB, micro USB, and then plug it directly to your computer, and you have a webcam alternative. And then possibly for this, the 20 inch 20 inch talaga. That 20.1 megapixel 1-inch sensor can still do wonders, no? At least for basic stills. It might still be bigger than your phone's camera sensor, but more importantly, again, you can use this for stills as well. So that's number 3, the Sony ZV-1. And then number 2 on my list, or at least what I'm looking forward to, is the Vaxis Atom 500, the geekier part of this top 5. Wait, let me just say hello. Yes, buti na lang nakahabol me. Nakagising lang. Hi Noel, thank you for dropping by. Avid fan pala. Joke lang. Thank you for always asking questions. You challenge me in a different way, at least on a technical level, on how I should answer questions all the time. No? So, moving forward, number 2 on this list is the Vaxis Atom 500. It looks something like this. And I'm excited for this one, particularly because it might be, or I'm really considering this as one of the wireless video transmitters because of the features. That 500 right there, it speaks of 500 feet. So 500 feet, I don't know what 500 feet converted to meters, probably around 150, 130, 160 meters. If I'm correct, please correct me in the comment section. So what is it for? It's a wireless video transmitter. It's for monitoring video. A couple of specs. Dual HDMI input and output. It has an OLED display. This thing allows you to monitor your video over an app on your mobile device. So you don't have to put together, or you don't have to put up several screens, but rather you can just use this so that you can allow for clients or other people in your production to view the videos on their mobile devices, and just by installing an app. It's powered by Sony NPF series batteries, and more excited that it can be powered by USB-C. Let me just see if that latency is correct. I think it's 0.1, or that's really fast if it's 0.01, but we'll see. But looking at the reviews so far, it's actually pretty promising. Just because live streaming is a big right now, at least live streaming in the sense that you don't have to show it in a big LED wall. You don't really have to account for that latency. Maybe for audio sync, but more importantly, we need to make sure that at least hindi ganun yung kalaki yung latency or yung lag. There you go. In between the camera and also where you're supposed to send the signal. Right. I'm excited to use it for video monitoring, for relatively long range video transmission. That's still 100 meters. So hopefully paired with the Rode Wireless Go, it will pair properly and it will give me wireless video and audio at the same time. And this Vaxis 500 Atom 500 would allow me to place camera transmitters on partner videographers and uh, other people that have cameras that I want to capture their signal and bring it to the live stream or a video mixing environment, video switching environment. So weddings and events, and allowing me to place cameras without laying down a lot of cables. So if I would switch to this camera over here, oops, not this one, you will see the studio in this bottom portion. I haven't cleared it yet, but definitely there are a lot of cables that are running in this room. But of course, if you don't, if you are not using cables, if you have wireless, then you have to always look out for the battery life. That's why I'm looking forward to that USB-C charger, charging port. Sorry, not charging port, but use USB-C to be able to power this particular device. So that's the Vaxis Atom 500, and that number one thing that I'm very excited about. This is the Blackmagic Design 8M Mini Pro ISO. I don't know why. I was watching a live stream this earlier morning, like in the wee hours of the morning. People are wondering why is it spelled out as all caps, ISO, all caps. Apparently, this is also a concept that's used. Not apparently, because I also teach photography. ISO is also used as a term or as a set of letters for photography. So maybe people just got used to spelling out ISO in this way, in all caps. But ISO, this is that thing. It still looks like the 8M Mini. It still looks like the Mini Pro, the 8M Mini Pro. But the most important thing for me is that for this particular unit, it allows for recording, ISO recording. So each of those 4 HDMI inputs, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and also your program mix gets recorded. So you get 5 encoders. Now, I'm not sure if you can, I'm not sure how it will affect recording and streaming, but if you think about it that way, this is a very powerful piece of hardware. It's sub $1,000. Okay, sub 1,000 USD. Although it runs HDMI, but sub 1,000 USD, I don't think you can find any other deal. Okay. So specs for HDMI inputs. I don't know if you can imagine this already. Putting together the Vaxis and this one, and then the CTEC earlier, the monitor. 4 HDMI inputs, which means 2 of those might probably be coming from Vaxis inputs, wireless HDMI inputs. 2 3.5mm inputs. It can be microphones, like the Rode. It can be a mix from another audio mixer or other sound sources. There's a USB-C port, that's USB-C 3.1, that allows for webcam input for the computer and also recording, so that you can record directly to this piece of hardware. Where do you think those 4 channels of recording would go? 4 video channels of recording would go, diba? Or 5 actually. And it has 1 HDMI output that can be multi-view, or that can be direct, and it has built-in scalers. Okay? Scalers are very important in video mixing or video switchers, primarily because this allows you to plug in several devices or sources, and you don't have to think about what would be your inputs already. Okay, so you can bring in several devices, sources, and you just have you don't have to think about the resolution. It will scale it up for you automatically. Okay, so what is it for? Video mixing, switching, encoding, and recording. And I think I got a bit ahead of myself earlier. Very excited. Excited to use it for ISO or individual recordings for programs. So let's say I'm cutting. I think I was doing this a couple of weeks or a couple of months ago before the lockdown. We were recording a stage play or a musical, and each of the cameras I had to put in a memory card. But with the 8M Mini Pro ISO, I can just record all of those 4 inputs or 3 inputs, and then just bring them to my editor or post-production editor of choice, and then I will see each of those video channels when I lay them out. And I don't have to sync because it starts and stops at exactly the same time. And I'm excited to use it with the CTEC monitor earlier, so I can still see the the 4 inputs individually, but I can also use the multi-view out for the HDMI. But most importantly, we will be using it with the Vaxis Atom 500 as well, which is the wireless transmitter. So to wrap up, these are the 5 things from earlier: the 8M Mini Pro ISO on the upper left, the Sony ZV-1 on the upper right, Vaxis below the 8M Mini Pro, the Rode Wireless Go, and then that CTEC monitor. So the 4 other things actually fit together, but I'm just looking forward to trying out that Sony ZV-1. A bit pricey, still a bit pricey. Kailangan pa rin mag-ipon for it. But most importantly, I have to see how it works together, how it can be put together, no? So there, 5 things. So maybe if you have questions, or if you have anything in mind that you want to ask, anything about live streaming that's related to the things that I talked about earlier, or maybe not, just let me know in the comments below. Saying hi to D. Dropping by, we were just chatting about video production earlier. Hopefully we will see some of these in the next couple of weeks when we go back to shooting our or recording our lectures. Wow, lectures talaga. Yeah. So while I'm waiting for a couple of questions, if you have any, this is again, it's the Q&A. Just drop your questions or thoughts below if you have any. And on the side, I would just like to formally announce, formally, I'm not getting married, but we have a special Uptakes episode on Sunday, August 9, 1 p.m. We'll be talking about celebrating weddings online. That's why I just opted for a relatively light session today. And I'm looking forward to this session because it's not just really about putting together this wedding workflow, but what are the things that maybe we can share to clients in the near future that would make these celebrations better, diba? Because of this lockdown, no pow, sorry. Because of this lockdown or this community quarantine and this situation, I think it's important to also reimagine how weddings are and how it should be celebrated. So we cannot bring in priests and we cannot allow for people to get married completely online, but at least how might we bring the celebration online? Okay, so this will be on Sunday, August 9, 1 p.m. here in the Facebook and YouTube channel of Upstream Media PH. Maybe you have friends that are getting married soon, or just thinking about how to go about bringing their celebration online, aside from putting up a mobile device and also just streaming it to Facebook or YouTube. Let's see. We have one question over here. Thank you so much for dropping by, Nikai Paredes, all the way from New York. I have an icebreaker question. What's your favorite low-tech gadget or product for a basic live stream? Okay. I would answer it this way. I would go for your phone. It's not low tech necessarily, but it's something that you have with you. And then spec it out. Like for example, I don't have to buy a newer camera, but I will buy definitely, or I will add to it a microphone, a decent tripod, and sorry, I should have started with this lighting. No, light. You start with light, with better light, and sorry, you start with better audio. So you bring in the microphone. So, and then you bring in light so that you have better image, and then you mount it properly. Okay, so I don't know if you will see this one. So this camera right here is actually mounted on the rear of the monitor. So it's not necessarily the lowest tech, but it should get the job done. And I've seen people start off with mobile devices, but you just have to look better in terms of your light. And because again, cameras are sensors, no, are made up of sensors as well. So when you use that, you allow for a better image and you allow for better sound. No, maybe you can sound better in your meetings, online video conference meeting. And I hope I was able to answer that question, Nikai. Please give thumbs up. Joke lang. Please do let me know if I did answer your question, and also Pao for seconding that question. Okay, we have another question here from Noel. Sulit ka talaga sa akin. Sir Glenn, if I have an Elgato Stream Deck and 8M Mini, is it gonna sync or is it different in you? Okay. The Elgato Stream Deck, let me just cut to this camera right here. The Elgato Stream Deck, and hide your comment, is this thing right here. This is just a controller, essentially. Okay. This is just a controller. So whatever you preset, like for example, I can go back to my main slide. Oops. Am I selecting? Yeah. I can go back to this layout, but it's separate from controlling this. But I can program the Stream Deck so that I can cut between the different layouts that I have for Mimo Live and also the different cameras for one seamless program. No. So again, going back to your question, the Elgato Stream Deck and 8M Mini, it's going to sync, but you have to allow it to talk together. So one thing that you can use is the companion, bit focus companion. Look for that one. So you can control keyboard shortcuts and the bit focus companion allows you to edit or control your 8M Mini over network, over your Ethernet or your network. And the second thing is that you have to bring in your Stream Deck to that bit focus companion and then program your keyboard shortcuts over that program and then send it to whatever program you're using. Let's say, for example, your OBS or your Streamlabs. No? I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense, Noel. Okay. Follow-up question. Hi, Kat. Thank you for asking this. What's the minimum camera requirement for your phone? Okay, thumbs up. Naka-add to cart. Sorry, let me just read the other comments. Thumbs up. Naka-add to cart na agad ako ng mic, light, tripod at bagong iPhone. Bagong iPhone talaga. Yes, but anong iPhone dapat for live streaming? My rule of thumb is as long as it can go live, it should be okay. But if you use an iPhone 6 Plus, 6S at this point, I'm thinking it in terms of power. Most probably it will be, you'll have to charge that thing. You have to keep it plugged. I think whatever phone that you can use, if you can use the back camera, better. But again, I'm coming from Nikai's question, what's a low-tech gadget? I think most people naman have phones, or at least a lot of people have laptops as well. And you can start from there. And there are free apps. And I think I found my topic for the next episode. That's not on Sunday, because we'll talk about this on Sunday. We'll talk about weddings on Sunday, but we'll talk about several what can be a mobile workflow, but what can also be a desktop workflow, given that you only are starting with these things. But definitely, Pao, please do add to cart, and please do check out. Don't forget to proceed to check out with that cart. Thank you so much for asking that question. Hopefully that satisfies that thing. I would use, of course, I would use my iPhone, but I would spec it out by bringing in a lens and also a microphone and a good tripod. No, so that's it. Saying hello to Sir Joseph. Thank you for dropping by. Sir Joseph, usap tayo soon. Yan. Wow, 13 viewers. I didn't expect. Thank you so much. Okay. Noel, nasagot ko ba yung tanong mo? I don't know how much. My rule of thumb with this is latency mostly 10 to 15 seconds, but hopefully this would allow it's near real time as well. Again, it's difficult to be second time I'm repeating this, it's difficult to be the producer and also the one speaking in front of the camera. Or use okay, on a serious matter nakatulong. Hopefully hindi nakatulog, no. Yes, Nikay, thank you for thank you for your kind words. Use talaga. We actually have 3 shows today. If you want to drop by the Umpilan, I forgot what the title is. I have the poster here. Umpilan, which is discussions on writing at this time. We have Leandra and Mai, a spoken word podcast tonight at 9:30. But in between, there's an email marketing masterclass from our friends from TLDR. Dudes, thank you so much for allowing me to help as well. And trying out another piece of software, which is, what's this? The Webinar Jam. So, ayun. Do we still have questions? Yeah, sorry for the audio problem earlier. Anyway, while we're still waiting for questions, if there are still other questions, don't forget that on Sunday again, August 9, 1 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, we'll be talking about a very special episode of Uptakes. We'll be talking about celebrating weddings online. And I hope I'll see you there, and we'll be posting this soon. And just make sure that you tag and share if you do have friends that are getting married at this bit difficult time. Okay. Again, August 9, 1 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube pages of Upstream Media PH. Simultaneous stream. Follow-up question. Thanks, Noel. Follow-up question, sir. So, hindi naman recommended that you have both. Can Stream Deck do the same thing what the A10 Mini can do if connected to OBS, like camera switching and graphics switching? Okay. Gets ko naman, okay. Noel, the thing is, the Stream Deck is actually a controller. Okay? It has software that you can run on your computer, that you can trigger keyboard shortcuts or applications and other things. But you can also use a software in between the Stream Deck and the A10 Mini so that you can control the A10 Mini. Okay? You can control OBS with the Stream Deck. You can control the A10 Mini with the Stream Deck. But you can also control them all at the same time if you just set up your software properly, which is called the BitFocus Companion. Actually, meron namang plug-in directly for Stream Deck. But yes, you can do it. I'm sure you can do it by getting the right pieces of hardware. The right pieces of software, because you already have the hardware that you are using. And I'm sure you got your A10 Mini already. But I'm really looking forward to these 5 things, like what I said earlier. These 5 things, the A10 Mini Pro ISO, 4 recordings, H.264. I want to dive into the tech. Well, hopefully we can do a hands-on, or maybe there are other pieces of hardware that can work as well. Okay, one last round of questions before we say good morning. And yeah, sino pa bang nandito? Just say hi in the comments if you are still around. Don't forget to drink water on an hourly basis. Stay hydrated. Okay, wala na. Okay. So, that's it. Again, Episode number 2 is done for Uptakes. Again, thank you everyone for joining and tuning in. I hope I was able to answer your questions and also get that gas going, gear acquisition syndrome going from your end. If you have anything in mind, just drop a message in our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, we have a special episode this coming Sunday, August 5, as we talk about, not that one, whoops, sorry, as we talk about wedding live streams and celebrating weddings online. How should it be? Where should you stream? How does the workflow look like and or change in this situation? Closing it off, do join us again next week for another episode of Uptakes. Join us on Sunday, join us next Wednesday as we bring you more ideas, concepts, news in and around live streaming. Again, my name is Glenn Lopez of Upstream Media PH, Technical Director. And I will see you next week. Cheers, guys. Thanks.